Welcome to Locker Room Sports Talk.
Yeah, well, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Locker Room Sports Talk. Today is Thursday, so that means it is Polish Day Podcast. We've come by and we're going to hang out and talk about some football, a few local games. If you want to talk about some high school stuff going on, we got that. Also, if you want to talk about some college football, Alabama, big game this weekend. AK Deer is going to be back on the scene. We're going to break into that and talk about them. Also, what about Georgia and Texas? I think Arch may have the he seems like he's trending in a good way. So does Arch really hit his stride this weekend and find a way to beat Georgia? What's going on, Ben? Yep. Coach headed in a new direction, Cherokee County's coach past, 6 years, I think he's been there. Coach Jacob Kelly won a lot of football games at their last 3 years. He took the team to state 3 times, played Andalusia, played Montgomery Catholic, and played Jackson. Come up short in those games, played Andalusia pretty well. That was a good game, and Catholic was the best defense in the state at the time, and the Warriors come in and played Catholic from player stuff that I had talked to, that played there, said it's the best team they had played through the year. They give Catholic all they wanted. I think they just kind of ran out of gas a little bit in that game. Defensively, offense, Catholic held the ball a lot out there on the field and kept Cherokee County's defense on the field a lot. And then last year, Jackson's just – they got some different dudes, man. Okay? They just do. What's up, Zach? And a big roll tide to you, buddy. Where y'all want to hit first? What we want to talk about? Some you want to do high school first? We'll flip a coin here. All right. I'll just absolutely random. Whole side, we do high school first. We got the whole side. Bam. All right, ripping into 1A playoffs here around the way. Round 2 is going to be taking place around here. We'll start down at the bottom. Hackleburg is going to be at Hubbardville. Wadley's going to be at Meek. Appalachian at Marion County. What a drive that's going to be for them. And Berry is going to be at Addison. Man, what a slew of games. Now, Southwise, rolling on down past the middle state here. Linden at Leroy. This is 1A lockups down in the South. I like that matchup. Really going to be a good game. Maplesville is going to be probably wants to beat in the South. South Choctaw at University Charter School and Goodaville Academy going to be at McKenzie. So we'll see how some of those games fare out. I'm going to guess, and it's fair for me to guess. I can make an opinion. I've covered high school football for a long time now. I'm going to this is probably not a hard one. And people that do keep up with high school football around the state of Alabama, when I make this pick, people are going to say, well, boy, you really had to study on that one, didn't you there, big boy? I'm going to assume that Maplesville plays Wadley for the state championship. And, yes, it's going to be at UAB this year. Okay, let's take a look at 2A. Some matchups. Let's start last 4 here for the North. Vincent at Pisgah. I think that'll be a good game for a while, probably. I think Pisgah's got a good football team. If they can hang on late, Pisgah's defense hang in there and play tough, I think they got a great shot at that one. Southeastern at Red Bay. Red Bay's just nearly impossible to be at home. And Lexington at Coosa. I don't think nobody really can play with Coosa up here in the North. Pleasant Valley at Tuscaloosa Academy. That is a long drive for them to try to make. I wish Coach Nixon and Pleasant Valley absolutely nothing but the most of luck, and I hope they go there and win that game and come back over here and get to play round 3 at Pleasant Valley, because I sure enough would love to see that. That would probably be what would it be, Red Bay? Would Red Bay have to come over to Pleasant Valley? But look for Coosa to probably take care of business up here in the North. Now, as far as the South, Reeltown at Cottonwood. Reeltown, we know where they was at last year. Laverne at GW Long, Arrington at Lynette, and Providence Christian at Lochapoka. Lynette I've seen them play last year. They're 2A guys. They look like a 4A team in some spots on their field. The player size wise, and Laverne, I would assume it'd come down to those two for the South and 2A, and that could basically just be flip a coin if you wanted it to there. At 3A, up here in the north, you got Winfield at Mars Hill. Mars Hill takes care of business. Westbrook at Geraldine. I've seen both these teams play twice. The young man at Geraldine, quarterback there, great football player. His dad played ball out there. I mean, this boy can pick them up and put them down. They block well. They tackle well. Good coach team. Coach Michael out there at Geraldine. Great up-and-coming young coach. Reminds me a lot of Coach Smith. Going to be across the field when he was young at that age. Like his energy. The community loves him there. He's one of them. You kind of want to lean experience because of Coach Smith over there from Westbrook. Coach Steve's been in a lot of these games. I think experience plays off in this game, but don't count them. If Geraldine won, they're going to play keep away with the ball. And like I said, they tackle well, they play good defense, and they got a lot of respect up there in that part of the town, part of the world there. Shout out Coach Austin up there at Geraldine. Good luck to you guys, man. And Coach Smith, good luck to y'all guys. And 5's going to be at Piedmont. That's like around here in this part of the woods, up here in the northeastern part of Alabama. When you say 5 and Piedmont, it's kind of like saying Green Bay is going to play the Steelers. It's kind of like saying the Cowboys is playing the 49ers. It's like saying Alabama's playing Auburn. It's a big game. Coach Benefield has been there a long time. He has won many state championships, more than you can count on one hand. Nation's longest winning streak at one time at 54, I think. It's going to be at Piedmont. Coach Miller's been there a little bit now. I think he's got his way kind of clicking along. And you just get the ball to Pinto mostly. But they got some kids in the backfield, Stone and stuff, quarterback-wise. And they got a little tailback kid that played up there at Sachs. He is really hard to tackle. That's going to be a heck of a game, man. It may be a defensive game. I wouldn't look for this game to probably get – I'm serious. If they can limit Piedmont to keep them down to 30 and drag them out there in the deep water and make them play their style of ball and hold the ball, and Coach B wants to just run it and hold the ball and run the clock. Very great, very, very interesting game. Colbert County at Gordo. Colbert County has really been clicking right along lately. They're going to play – I think they play Gordo a good game. Now, Southwise, Cottage Hill Christian at Southside Selma, Trinity at Glenwood School, and then Lee Scott Academy at Montgomery Academy, and Bayside Academy at Randolph County. But those are all really good matchups. Southwise for this 3A kind of look like maybe kind of like last year, maybe something like Glenwood or Lee Scott Academy probably to represent that. But when you see this name in there, if you know, you know. Because I remember this team, Coach Smith, when he's at Piedmont, played this Bayside Academy team. They're good, man. Every couple of years they come along, man, and they're in there. This is about the time of year to see if they can go on the road and get a big win at Randolph County. Randolph County's that heritage style. They've been in the playoffs. They've won state before. Had a really good quarterback down there some years ago. That's going to be a real interesting game because it's historically known. You know, when you look up Bayside Academy and you look at Randolph County, these type of games, I mean, I think they both have only lost like one game. Randolph Academy lost to Lee Scott, which is there, and then Glenwood School, which is there. So this Bayside team is just one of those kind of teams, man. They beat the Houston Academy last week in that first round pretty bad. So that's going to be real interesting. Again, 5 Piedmont matchup. Five's offense, they're averaging about 40 points a game from what I could go figure. Piedmont, they're undefeated. And let me say something up front. Just to win games, period, it's hard to win games. And they ain't seemed to figure out how to lose one yet. They've just kind of went through the season right now, having a good record, 8-0 all through region play. They've scored 560 points, and they've only given up about 100 points. Talking about Piedmont. Now, 5 is going to be a little bit lower because they don't score quite as much. They're going to be about the 420 mark in points scored, and they've allowed a little bit more this year, 170. But trust me that, seeing Gibson run the ball, it's absolutely just that old style football that you like to see 5 like to take care of. They are 10-8 away, and Piedmont is 11-2 at home. That's probably more than likely where I'll be at. So let's hit 4A, and then we'll move on and do a few other things. Jackson at Hanley, big game the weekend. Know a lot of people that's going to be headed down there. No disrespect to Hanley, what another historic football team in the playoffs. When Coach Train's there, I mean, it's just a gimme. They're going 3 rounds. I mean, you might as well just don't even worry about the first 2. If you're a fan, just book it to probably be at home for Hanley in the 3rd round. That's just how it's been. But this Jackson team, man, and they're getting guys back. Points for and against. I mean, look, they're 9-2. I know they've had lost 2, and then Hanley is 10-1. I'm trying to find Jackson has scored 380 points, but Hanley scored 400 points. Hanley's allowed 130. Jackson's allowed about 112. Jackson's getting these guys back at the time that you want to see. When you're talking about a team going to be fully healthy right now, it's 2nd round playoffs. Man, what do you say? That's dangerous. Are you kidding me? Very dangerous. Schematically, these teams kind of weigh out pretty even opponents records wise. As far as Hanley, 59-55, Jackson's is 71-43. Jackson is 4-0 away from home, but Hanley's 6-0 at home. So something's got to give. Something has to give. Hanley's averaging about 35, 36, about 6 touchdowns a game averaging. Their defense is only allowing about 10, 12 points a game. And Jackson, one is on their rail to be a win streak after they lost to St. Michael back during regular season. I watched the game, great game, and Jackson turned the ball over, I think, 3 times in that game, and I went upon losing by 10. But they're on a 4-game win streak right now, and they lost that. It was 49-39 was that score. So, can they keep it going? Can the Aggies? They've made the playoffs now, like nearly 40 times they've made appearances to the playoffs. I think Jackson's going to be a tough out in this because of the players that they have. Now, Southwise, again, American Christian, W.S. Neal, these teams are – I remember keep reading more about American Christian last year. They had some players there, man. They had a quarterback there a year or 2 ago. I was really interested in him. And these teams don't, they have good coaching staffs. They don't have a lot of penalties. These communities come out and support this team. And at WSNU, I promise you, it's going to be jam-packed and rocking. And Bullitt County is going to host Mobile Christian. I've been talking about this Bullitt County team since about I think I picked them up on radar about week 5 or 6. They beat somebody. They beat somebody during the year. Let's see if I could find who was it they played. About week 5 or something. I was like, man, wow. It was a big win for them. They're basically overall Bullitt County. They are the Hornets. They've qualified for the playoffs total of only 3 times. So this is kind of new waters for them. They've scored 280 points. They've given up 226. Mobile Christian Buzzsaw team 330, and they've given up about 200. But, Bullitt County's only, they're only average scoring about 3 touchdowns a game, where, Mobile Christian offenses, they're used to scoring about 5 touchdowns a game. Something's going to fall here by the wayside. Mobile Christian is, we know who they are, and we see them in the playoffs all the time. This Bullitt County team is just popping at the right time. Pleasant Grove at St. Michael at Pleasant Grove, going to be a great game. Good Hope at West Morgan. These are the games up here in the north, these next 4. Alexandria at Plainview, Madison Academy at Anniston, and Dashler at Hamilton. Let's look at Madison Academy and Anniston Bulldogs. Coach Jackson out there. Shout out to him and the boys. Great guy. Really enjoyed talking to him. Anniston had won the week before. They beat Fultondale by about 50. Really turned it on. Look, man, they're averaging same. I mean, they're in that 6 touchdowns a game type mark. And to be able to average those kind of points, they've rolled through this, season and just took care of business. The team I've watched them play twice this year. I watched them play Cherokee County, and I watched them play Alexandria. Talking about Anniston and Coach Jackson there. Not a lot of penalties in the Cherokee County game. Now, there was some in the Alexandria game. Both teams had some offsides and players lined up wrong in the backfield, or just, little stuff like that. We know that region, we talked about Cherokee County a while ago, and for Anniston to come in and just win that region right out and just take care of business it's a remnants. If you're old as me, you know that, guys, that these Anniston teams, they have had some. I did have a number. I think it's like they had like 30 guys out of that school go play college football in this time, in some span of time. I don't know the exact years. I know Mr. Holder, John Holder from high school football, Alabama. John just he just has all that stuff up there, man. I mean, it's just an area that just has a ton of talent. Now, with other teams around the area, Jacksonville's or Oxford's or whatever, it's kind of hard to keep them there, because some other schools have more money or something and have cool stuff. And it's hard to keep kids locked in there. But, man, they've been in the playoffs like 35 times, 36 times. They've made playoff appearances over the record says 37-30. And they're 7-1 at home in the second round. Now, Anniston has only allowed about 100 points this year. I know. And they're scoring about 380. That's a pretty good recipe. Now, Madison Academy is scoring about 450, but they're giving up a little more around the 280 mark. So, defensively, Mobile averages about 3 touchdowns, where Anniston only about under 10 points. And record-wise, away record for Madison Academy, they're 3-2 away from the house. Madison Academy has reached the playoffs. It says 17 consecutive seasons. That's amazing. They have a great football team. They have some of the best players that you can get for all around that area up there in Madison, up that way. So, Anniston, West Morgan, these are just some teams that they have played here over the past couple of years. Just trying to look for some other bigs. They had a Piedmont game in 2014. They had one. Played Cherokee County in 2005. Yeah, it's going to be a good game, good atmosphere. So now Ben talks about this West Morgan team some. Let's look at this West Morgan team. West Morgan home game against Randolph. They won that game 41-14. They beat Brooks 47-21. Nobody's really played them close. Guys, they've give up. I'm just going to rough math this 28, 35, 42, 62 plus 21. Dude, they ain't give up like now. What? 100 points this year? 117. Okay, here's who they've played. They've played Priceville, Hatton, Eastern Lawrence, Danceville, Central Florence, and Wilson and Deshler. Whereas Good Hope, they took out Cherokee County last week. And that game was 28-26. I think they went for 2 at the end there. And close game. And I hate to see my guys go out like that, but hey, you live to fight another day, and you hit the weight room, get another coach. But the streets might change. They don't. Maybe the names do, but the mission is still the same. It's to go win state. So Good Hope played West Point, Fultondale, won all these games. Cordova, Addison. They beat Addison 41-6. This Good Hope team is not the team that you remember from like last year or year before. It's not. This team, and talking to Keyshawn, if you missed last week, you can go back and watch that show. He said, "Yeah, this is a good football team." Now, the number one over there for that region, Hamilton, beat them 28-21, so they played them close. So when I saw that, I knew these guys are cooking with some different butter. They got a little something more going on up there at Good Hope, which is just an area just – go up past through Sneed and all that area, make it there to the top of the mountain. You turn left, it's over that way, like you go on to Hansville. Now they beat Dora, and they did lose to Fairview 14-7. So it's kind of new territory for Good Hope. West Morgan, not so much. Cherokee County's met them several times in second rounds and stuff. I went up there with them 2 years ago in a barn burner. Fantastic games. This Good Hope team qualified for the playoffs. They were second in that region over there. The Raiders have made 26 playoff appearances, and that's kind of that. West Morgan also has just went through this season. We went through some of those games and all the scores and stuff for them. Any other questions? Let's hit the peanut gallery before we get too darn far going down the road here. What's going on there, brother? Good to see you on here. I know, man. That we're talking about. Pleasant Valley's got to make that drive to Tuscaloosa Academy. That's 3 hours, man. That's a solid 3.5, 3 hours. Plus, they'll probably go the day before. I would assume they'll go on down the day before. Ben says it possibly Coach Christian, Tuscaloosa County. It could be. They've beat them twice now. Beat them this year and last year. I think Madison Academy can beat Anniston because if you saw Madison Academy struggle with Aiden. Okay. Yeah. Hey. Yeah, I think that's the game of the night, Zach. Over at the old Piedmont Bulldogs. Yeah, I think that this Anniston team, the Win kid, and I had all their names wrote down here and stuff, and they've got some real playmaking. They've got a lot of speed that you practice for and you think you're ready for, and then you just don't know what's about to happen until the speed hits the field. And when them feet hit the field, buddy, what was the other kid's name? Was it Cumberland? Cunningham. Comes in, played quarterback. They have 2 different kind of quarterback set they play. Their linemen are big and strong. They're fast. They play well. If they hold their water and keep the flags to a minimum, this Anniston team is going to be a real problem in the playoffs. Yeah, I think it was. Didn't Slater and them, didn't he win the state wrestling championship there at Bayside? I think he did. Yeah, I agree. It would be a shocker if Hanley beat Jackson. But you know what? It was about this time last year, you remember, Booker T. Washington shook up the world. Shook up the world. WS Neal. Okay. Yeah, they're a proud program, man. WS Neal's I've seen their basketball team once. I remember we played them. Our girls here a couple of years ago, Cedar Bluff played them in a volleyball, like for a semi game or something. So they care about their athletics there at WS Neal. Be a great game. Sure, be a great atmosphere. I don't remember that. I remember when Madison Academy soaked the field before they played Piedmont. No, I don't know about that. Yep. Hey, it's a new light. It's a new day. And like I said, the streets don't change, but maybe the names. Cherokee County, they'll have them a new football coach, but the goal is still the same. Still the same goal. Just hanging there and keep playing and keep getting after it. Keep picking them up and putting them down, baby. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Hey, make sure y'all hit the thumbs up right here and subscribe to the darn channel if you hadn't already. That little blue thumbs up on Facebook, or if you're on YouTube watching, I do appreciate you coming by and hanging out tonight. Just hit the little thumb right there at the top. If you're watching on the mobile, this new mobile app here is just kind of the narrowing. It seems to work good. I think people like it on their phone. It's gives a good view. Seems to work out real well. So make sure you're hitting the thumbs up on the video. If you hadn't subscribed to the channel, if you like this content stuff, we just talk football, man. There's nothing complicated, nothing wild. To go through the comments, like I enjoy talking to people and talking about the games ahead for the week, and that's what we like to do. Now, let's talk about some college football here at Locker Room Sports. I wonder if I'm just playing now. See if this is that better or worse? If you're watching on phone, does that look worse? Or should I leave it like that? You tell me. With the background or without the background? Y'all tell me. That's right, baby. We sure do appreciate you, Zach. Number one over there. Him and Jeff and Ben, they're always here hanging out with us. Who wants to talk about Clemson? And I'm just kidding. Well. I got to ask this question first. I always like to put up a little odd game up front, and I'll go back and see what y'all thought about. Zoom is better. Okay, like this. All right. 5A North looks hard to predict. Yeah, I wish them luck, and we got a few Fort Payne's hanging around in there, but we don't have enough 5A stuff ready around here. 6, 7, we have Gadsden City and those up there, South Side 6A and stuff, but I don't look too deeply in them. I love my 1A teams and 2A for sure. And then we got Piedmont stuff, 3A and 5, and then Cherokee County and some our local teams closer around like Anniston and those guys for 4A. So I just don't know a lot about the 5, 6, 7A teams. Texas A&M is going to host South Carolina. Guys, is there a chance? No, there's not. No. If South Carolina can run the ball, if they can establish some kind of run game, I'm just trying to think, is there any scenario where this take these off now, music's not playing. If there's any scenario where South Carolina could beat A&M, they've got offensive line troubles. They do have a new offensive line coach. They got a new offensive play caller. He fired Shula, which had been at Bama for a couple of years before Saban come. I don't know. I just kind of doubt it. I'm trying to talk myself into it, but I just don't know. Yeah, Moody's really good, man. I've seen them play. They've got some freaking football players. Mario is doubtful. A&M. So A&M is weak in the rush defense. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to talk myself into it being a good game because it's going to be an 11 o'clock game. And the only other game going to be on is probably the one I'll wind up watching. It's probably going to be Notre Dame and Pitt. We talked about this a little bit Tuesday night, and when nearly, I mean, some people are letting this game slip through the cracks, and some people are not getting a lot of talk to Texas and Georgia. But we're going to talk about Texas, Georgia too. Pitt has their run defense is like, I think it's like 5. Overall defense, they're a top 25 defense. I think there's a huge possibility. Notre Dame's favored by 12.5. I don't know, where they're kind of getting that from. Pitt is 7-2. They're in the ACC. They are third over there behind Virginia. And we know this conference has been known to lay a big stinky egg. They lost 2 games back to back in the weeks there against West Virginia and Louisville. Pitt did, but I'm going to look to be sure before I say, but they lost 31-24. What I'm wondering is, it was right there during these weeks when they lost it, when Pitt lost these games, they lost a kid from Bama, their quarterback, Holstein. And I don't know if they had Louisville the next week and they lost that one 34-27. No, Holstein played that one too. This other guy, they let him come in and play a little bit. They're, Louisville, and that's, one of the better teams, in the conference. They're 4-2 now. They were 4-0 at the time. So did, Pitt just run into, 2 good teams there back-to-back weeks and just had a tough time at West Virginia and hosted Louisville and lost a close one. Louisville got them for, 390 yards, trying to get a good light, because I don't remember that game. It's like week 4. I'm trying to get a good, feel for, Pitt. I just really think how their defense plays and right now quarterback play, they're seeming pretty hot. I know they've, played, just come off the road from playing a not real good Stanford team, but this could be a really locked up good game. If they can, it's always the same answers. It's like, if they can run the ball and play defense, well, sure. Yeah, no crap. But, seriously, if Pitt comes in there and throws the ball for, 300 yards on Notre Dame, and they, can run the ball and keep the clock. That's the thing with running the ball. Running the ball controls the clock and it keeps the clock running. If you can complete passes, it's okay to throw the ball too. But when you start dropping passes, it stops the clock. $11 on ABC. I'm just wondering what Vegas knows that we don't, because they have a 12.5 point favorite for Notre Dame. I think if I had money, I would just nearly put money for Pitt to. Notre Dame may win, but I bet Pitt covers. What are y'all thinking about Pitt and Notre Dame game? I think it's a great opportunity. It is a great opportunity. Holstein turned in three times in the first half against Louisville. Yeah, Holstein, he was a Bama kid, coming in. That's going to be a good game. Be a good game to get up and have been up and had your breakfast, go to the gym, get a good run in or something, get you a good little back and little chest pump workout and stuff. Come back to the house and grab some barbecue and some ribs on the way back through, and flop down in a chair, turn on ABC about 11 o'clock and see what happens. Now, the next game after that one, just leaving on that old ABC channel, because at 2:30, Oklahoma is traveling to Alabama. I've heard so many people break this game down. If you watch Pate, the Pate State, Josh Pate college football, whatever you want to call it, I've watched him since he nearly started in a little TV studio down there in South Alabama. He'd come on like Sunday nights after we would go off. I would watch him. I always wore the white T-shirt, bald head. Real good speaker. Knows what he's talking about. Has a team to help him get notes. I don't. I have to do, if I get research and stuff for myself, I do it all stuff. And Todd notes he gets all his own stuff too for Sunday. It'd be great if you had somebody that, you just had the stuff in front of you. Somebody's doing this research for you. Now he has a team of people. All he does is go up there and just read the paper, and he watches the games. Alabama is 71% favor in this, and I've heard him break this game down. And why I mentioned Pate was Pate's model likes Bama by 10. And I listened to it again this morning at work, and here's the thing. We keep waiting for that moment, that time that Alabama does something like Alabama usually does. Like they just figure out how to run the ball all of a sudden. I broke down more in detail why the run game's not been successful at Alabama. And basically, just to sum it up in a few words, Jam's trying too hard. His vision has been skewed. He has the ghost of Ingram and Henry on his shoulders. He's just trying too hard. And 3, the offensive line usually blocks it okay, but it's some indecision and uncertainty and uncalmness about the self of Jam. He catches the ball well out of the backfield. He's a good pass blocker, great guy, great leader for the team. There's just it's in his head. Look, if he goes and does he needs to go do some meditation. He needs to go do some kind of mind therapy and get in one of those like saltwater tanks where you turn the lights off and just float in the water. Jam needs something to clear his head. Acupuncture, I don't know, dude. Go play some freaking goldfish with your buddies or something. He needs to calm down. Now, when I started the show, I told you it was deer season. AK Deer is going to be – he's listed. I think the way I understood, he's playing in the game. So it seems like I'm starting Daniel Hill. I'm sorry, Jam. It just is what it is. Senior or not, you're just not him. You just don't got it anymore. I mean, you got 320 freaking yards on 88 carries. Get out of town. Just go – be a good mentor to the young backs and help them understand the play calls and help them learn how to pass block. I don't know, bro. I'm starting Daniel Hill. AK Deer's back. Put him in there because him and I don't know if Riley's like banned from the team and Young. Where is he at? Where are these guys even at? But AK Deer's to come in and to play very young. And some guys, come in as freshmen, they're ready to play, bam, real quick. And sometimes you just have gut feelings about guys. I seen Daniel Hill at practice. I remember seeing him this summer. I was a big Richard Young fan. I really liked him coming out this summer. Man, he looked great. Watching him practice, how he runs to the dummies and stuff. If Alabama does a Alabama thing like they usually do, AK Deer's going to come out and rush for 120 yards Saturday. And you'll be like, well, there it is. Finally, we got somebody in there that's confident in their running skills and can run behind their pads and is just eager to score, but not unfocused to where his mind is bogging him down. Now, pluses and minuses in this game, Mateer, Simpson, Simpson's throw for about 500 more yards. We can talk about stats and all that kind of stuff. I'm talking about I watched them both play. I watched Alabama's games. I've seen Oklahoma play probably three games this year. Saw the Tennessee game, saw the Auburn game, and watched, I think, the half of the Ole Miss game, maybe. The Ole Miss game, that game just showed me that their secondary is just exactly that. It is not the Ole Miss, Michigan. I had the M on the thing there. I watched them play Michigan. And Michigan's not a they're just, I mean, they're just not real good. Okay. But, as far as being in, other games I've watched, Tennessee, the Ole Miss game was 34-26. It was the Michigan game I had watched more of. But I went back and watched the Ole Miss game. And then watching to review that game, there's just no way, guys, you can make me believe that Shamlin is going to go out there and throw for like 300 and something yards. What did he throw for? 315. He's going to throw for 315 yards, but Ty Simpson can't. It just shows that Oklahoma has susceptible players on there, in their defense back. I think Bama's got better receivers than Ole Miss. I think Bama's got a better quarterback than Ole Miss. I think Bama's defense is better than Ole Miss. There's no way I could bring myself to believe that Ole Miss comes out and runs, and it's like 22-10 at half. And I think that's got to be where Pitt got that idea from, just in watching that game. Now, Oklahoma, I'm watching them block up front defensively. They are good up front, and they do have a top rushing defense. But from watching them play, and this is Bama too, they're susceptible on linebackers and stuff missing their keys sometimes. They just are. Their guys can, get in there and make a great play, and then on the next play, the guy's in the wrong hole. I'm looking at some of these names over here. Owen Heineck kid, he's from Oklahoma there. Just got 21 tackles. He's got 2 sacks. His team's got, they got 22 sacks on the season or something. Just linebackers. The Helm kid is good. How many has he got on the year? He's got 8. He's got 8 tackles. That Heinrich guy, though, he's really their guy. And the Kendall Daniels, guy that plays linebacker, big guy. You'll see him. He's got dreads and stuff. What's interesting in Oklahoma is, they keep a lot of guys at home. I just can't get in a world, in a headspace to believe that Alabama's wide receivers are not going to make plays against them, and Ty takes care of the ball, don't have turnovers. The penalties were great last week for Bama. They didn't turn the ball over, a lot at all. But for Kiffin to run 430 yards offense, and, they did give up 360 yards offense. Ole Miss just run the ball for 116 yards. I mean, it wasn't a big deal. Oklahoma, Blaylock, and they got some guys out too. Let me tell you right here. I'll tell you who's out because I got the report. The main thing is you're usually just going to pick a team that's the better quarterback, right? I mean, ain't that kind of how you'd rate this? Oklahoma is probable for their wide receiver, the Lewis kid. that McKinson linebacker kid, and then they got the Simmons, one of their offensive linemen. He's probably going to be out. Quay Russo is listed as questionable. Caden Jones, Deshaun Jones is probable, but out is, of course, we know Latham, Dre, Abdul Sanders, which is one of the linebackers. He's a young guy. Danny Lewis, tight end, didn't know about him. And then Jeremiah Beeman, defensive lineman, I heard about him this week for Bama. They're out. But from what I've heard, Quay Russo's playing, and him and Lonzy Pierre. I just like this Bama team better, man. I was more worried about the Oklahoma, beating them, but you just start looking at players. Just line up the players and compare players, guys. Just think about, okay, you got Oklahoma here and Bama here, and you just start going down the checklist. Defensive line maybe could be a toss up in some spots. Bama's defense has played better. I've seen them play better and better as the years went on. Blaylock has run the ball, well for Oklahoma. Let's see, how many yards he got rushing this year? He is at 400 yards. Nobody's running the ball this year. Have y'all noticed that? Nobody's really running the ball. And you got Satania. He's about 700 yards receiving. The Kip Lewis guy we talked about a while ago, he's their big tackler. Not really a takeawayer of the ball is Oklahoma. That was the final check, Zach. When we do the list, you do these here and you check this side or this side. For me, that was the final list. Bama's just been taking the ball away. They just been taking the ball away from everybody. They're punching the ball, ripping the ball, intercepting the ball. Bray Hubbard's like one pick short of leading the SEC in interceptions, and I think it happened Saturday. Mateer is not as accurate or deadly with the ball as Ty. If Bama could just get one of those running backs just going, man, just if it could just, if you get two guys run for 50, 60 yards apiece, just to keep the defense honest, because without running the ball, the defense just lays their ears back, man. They just go get after Ty. And he's 2 for 14 on these 25-plus yard balls down the field. So, again, that's going to say the defense is going to say, well, we're not playing cover 4. They could play a cover 2 and squat the corners and to cover those little plays up the sideline, or, drop a linebacker and twist the ends and run them inside out, their defensive lines and outside backers that are wolf positions and stuff, and make a field day for Ty Simpson. If they sack him more than 5 times and Bama runs the ball for 50 or less, that's probably going to be an L. That's probably going to be an L. Yeah. Richard Young he went to space or something. I think he got on one of them Elon Musk rockets. Where is he at? Where is Young and Riley? Where the heck are these guys at? Yeah, those two swapping out. That's going to be a great. Pierre's been doing good, and he's more of the pass rusher, and Quay's more of the run blocker. But let me tell you guys, don't think that one can't do the other. Don't think that one can't do. The Pierre can run block just as good as Quay could pass rush. Those guys are real difference makers on there. Yeah. If he gets sacked 5 times or more, we can't run the ball. What happened last year was Milroe threw the ball the wrong team. He could not. Venables had his number, and that's just it. Bama just played bad. Yes, there was a touchdown taken off the board. Ryan Williams made a big catch. Crazy catch. I mean, would somebody like to go back and look at that one again? Let's just look at that. Holy crap. Have you seen that? Let's see. Oh, hold on. I'm going to pull it up here. We can watch it. We got it on the screen there. Look, I mean, I know it's hard to see it, but he just makes a stab up to right in the side of the end zone there. Watch this. You can see it close. Boom. Got his foot in. What an amazing catch this guy makes. And watch this. Boom. Foot in. Great catch. And it's 24-3 right there. Holy crap. That would have made it 24 to 10. Bama could have maybe could have got back in it, maybe not. What's up, Burge? He says that Oklahoma does not have the offense to beat Alabama in anything but an ugly, low-scoring game. Yeah. I went to their running back here. I like Blaylock. I think he's a good back, man. But, I mean, he's 400 yards rushing for the year is not – I mean, you're just not really, just killing it right now. He's got 4 yards. He averages 4 yards a game. He hadn't rushed for 100 except against South Carolina, which is good. They won that game 26-7. I broke that game down a lot. We really got into that one real deep. Let's talk about the Oklahoma-Tennessee game. 33-27. Oklahoma gets the win. And I tried to compare it, too, and how team numbers, rushing yards, even penalties and stuff, you can pull them up side by side. Well, I hit the wrong button. You can pull them up side by side here like this. And with well, that's not what I want to do. And go here and OU Tennessee game. And you can see how Alabama played this Tennessee team too, and kind of get an idea of what the two teams kind of did against each other. And it is right here. Okay. Total yards, Alabama against Tennessee, Oklahoma against Tennessee. Bama had 373 against Tennessee. OU had 351. OU passed for 160. Bama passed for 250. See, Bama run the ball for 120 against Tennessee. OU run the ball against Tennessee for nearly 200 yards. But Tennessee could not run the ball for crap against OU. Tennessee had 63 yards rushing, or Tennessee had 140 yards rushing against Bama. 11 penalties for OU in that game. Bama had 7. They both had the turnovers. Tennessee and Alabama both turned the ball over. Same with them. OU held the ball for 30 minutes. Bama held the ball for 31 minutes against Tennessee. First downs, Bama had 23 first downs against Tennessee, and OU had 19 first downs. So moving the ball more, Bama was 5 for 11 on third downs. OU was 4 for 10. So a lot of these stats are really close, except for that one thing. Bama let Tennessee run the ball. Oklahoma did not. So, but where's Oklahoma at now? In that part of the defense. Are they prepared, Burge? Can they? AK Deer's going to play Saturday. We talked about him. Is there a chance that Bama does something that Alabama always does? It's just always this thing that they do. It'll just be Alabama if they just show up and run the ball for 116 yards Saturday. You're like, well, why didn't, this is going to be the better defense they've seen. This is going to be a game to really get them ready and get them prepared to roll on down the road. I do too. I like Bama in this game. I mean, it's just – I just think the offense too much. I think the receivers are too good. I think Bama's defense has really been playing great takeaway football here the past couple of weeks since they've really been playing ranked teams. It's really been it's really just been, Bama's defense just taking care of business. Now, let's hit this one real quick, lastly, and we'll get on out of here. Georgia and Texas. We talked about this game Tuesday night. I'm so curious to see 6:30 ABC, 7-2 Longhorns, 8-1 Dogs. I'm curious to see if Arch, how he's progressed. We've seen him get better. What's his goal for this season? Has he made a mark for himself to know where he wants to be at as a player? He said that they're a good team, Arch said, and that he was considering them, to go play there just right up till the end. Preview. Let's see if we give. Texas pass rush Longhorns have been on a tear getting on to the quarterback. Texas ranks number 1 nationally in sacks per game with 3.78 and 34 overall. Leaders, the edge rusher, the Simmons kid, Burke. Simmons has 8 sacks. And with Georgia's weary offensive line woes of swapping a lot of guys around all the time, Georgia and Texas also will be playing to protect their playoff hopes. The Bulldogs are motivated to play for the first round bye. With 2 losses, Longhorns may have a greater sense of urgency. Texas defense end, Burke says, that's nothing new. We know what they are. We know what Texas can do. We've seen Arch play. They got good receivers. It's really going to be a tale to see if can those guys, can Burton them, can Texas Simmons, their end. How comfortable Burge is. How comfortable is going to be back there trying to run the ball and trying to, protect the ball, not throw turnovers, take sacks, do all that kind of stuff. How are they going to be? We're back, baby. The great mighty Longhorns, we're back. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Notre Dame's crap. They're fish water. They lose that game. Yeah, they're 3 losses. They're out because then you're going to run into these other teams like 2-loss teams that you're going to have some 2-loss teams that are good quality football teams that could get in this playoff, like maybe a Vanderbilt or something. If they go to Tennessee and win, there'll be a 2-loss team. You definitely see a Vanderbilt in there. So, overall rankings and stuff are, defense, total defense. Bama's 18, Georgia 20, Texas 22, A&M 23, Oklahoma 7. They've given up 2378 yards. Oklahoma has. Bama has given up 2729. Talking about 350 yards difference. Who is one of the fewest penalized teams around that we know that play major football? Minnesota, Penn State, Ohio State, 10 on the list, Clemson 13, Indiana, Oregon, Kentucky. It looks like it's the first SEC team to be the least penalized. Georgia's 22 with 45 penalties. Bama's only got 47 penalties. Those matter. Those are going to matter in some of these games, man. And first down defense, Oklahoma at 5. Opponents rush first downs 41. Opponents pass first down 70. Bama at 13 on first down defense. Yeah. Is there a chance? We'll get off here. Yeah, Bama has done pretty good. Fire up the BCS computers and make the Power 4 championships and have a bye for the rest of the teams, and the computer takes the top 8. Yeah. I don't know. Whatever happened to – why was it – what was wrong with number 1 and 2 playing? You lost the meaningfulness of bowls when they quit meaning anything, because 1 and 2 played for the championship and whatever it was that year, if it was going to be the sugar, or the rose, or the orange, or the cotton. Well, the rest of the bowls were supposed to be meaningful because you were playing good opponents. Like Michigan played Nebraska back in the day, Rose Bowl games. Ohio State, USC, and all those great Rose Bowl games. And they would for the championship, but it's still a good opponent. And it used to mean that used to mean something, somewhere along the way. I don't adding these bowls as playoffs, you're just putting a label on a bowl like a Peach Bowl. You're just putting a label on the Peach Bowl, a sticker, and writing in the playoff game. How does that? You're still playing the Peach Bowl. When is it any more important than it was, before? Why? I hate that, that we kind of lost our pundits in the bowl games and the way we used to watch bowl games back in the 80s and 90s. Yeah, Michigan State had to forfeit a bunch of football games. I saw that. Yeah, even the conference championships this year, like Lane and Kirby are going to be like, well, we have one less game to play, which is an opportunity for us to heal up players. Now, the 1 through 4 is going to get a bye where you're not, but you're not going to have to play a championship game. Does winning your conference mean anything anymore? It's a check. There's money that's involved with it. It's still got to be a sense of pride in playing it. It does. Yeah, but winning that SEC championship, though, for Lane should be – it's got to mean something, man. There's still something there. There's got to be some kind of meat on the bone to let you know that – Ole Miss, they ain't never won the SEC. I just think it would be, and how he is too. He's an old school guy, man. His dad's old school. His money he passed on, and to Ole Miss to be SEC champs. Who would have ever thought that? They've had some good teams a couple of years, but when Coach Nutt was there and stuff, but I don't know, man. It just seems like it should mean something to be able to go to your conference championship and win it. Because here's the thing with going to it, guys, if you just go to it, it's pretty much locking you in for a playoff spot, right? Win or lose, you're going to make the playoff because the loser of the SEC is gonna. The loser of the SEC is going to they're going to make the playoff. LSU, Coach Kelly, let's look at that again. Because the news today was he was going to have to sue him. That's 2 days ago, 1 day ago. Brian Kelly files lawsuit against LSU. Alleged school wants to fire him for cause. Everything's kind of 2 days ago, 1 day ago. He's entered a legal dispute. LSU seeks to avoid $53 million buyout claim. AD lacked authority to fire the coach. Yeah, so what's up with that? How? See, he showed up to the facilities like Sunday, the day after the game when they lost, and his code wouldn't let him in. So he thought, well, that kind of stuff happens. So he goes somewhere and gets the code to get in, and then he wound up having a meeting. Like he was like, "Hey, you got something at 12? Cancel that. Make sure your office, whatever, 12 o'clock." And I'm assuming the money powers that be of the state of Louisiana got in the ear of the AD and said, this guy's got to go or we're not putting up any more money. And maybe the president was like, well, you got to draw this stuff up in paperwork wise, and you got to have calls, and it's just a bunch of lawyer jargon. And Kelly being a hothead, I would imagine this is kind of how it went. Him and the AD talked, and then the AD's like, look, the money people is going to pull the money. They don't want you here anymore. You had a terrible game last night. Your whole energy in your body and mouth. And hey, screw you, man. Who are these people? These donor people. They ain't never coached football. And tell me how to coach the freaking football. Yeah, we played a bad game. We're not having a great year. Okay, we're going to figure it out, man. I've been here. We did win the conference. Got to play for the conference championship like his first year there. Just calm down. Quit being a freaking dirtbag. Hey, well, I'm just telling you, man, the guys with the money is saying that they're done with you. Well, screw them, man. I mean, I'm just saying that's probably how it went. And then he leaves mad and, well, I want my money, and then he probably calls the president and then he calls the AD. He's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, I mean, well, the money people are pulling, I think somebody somewhere along the way at LSU kind of jumped the gun somewhere, and this is going to cost somebody a bunch of money. And McCarron said that Kelly didn't care if it went to court because he would let the skeletons get drug out, because what this is going to create now for LSU is other coaches that are looking at it, like Drinkowitz, maybe Lane. Lane's supposedly locked for Florida. That some of these guys are like, well, do I really want to go coach at LSU? What kind of crap show they got going on down there? The governor, lieutenant governor, and they fired the president, the AD. They know ain't no head coach, and then this interim coach is doing stuff. Holy crap. What a mess. I don't think I want to be any part of that. And Florida is loving it. Florida is just sitting on the sideline, they're just licking their chops thinking, wow, this is awesome. They're like, hey, we're Florida over here. Solid foundation. We have won national championships too. We have Heisman winners here too. Great facilities, big stadium. Is Florida Stadium bigger? That's a good question. Let's look at that. Let's see. Death Valley holds 102,321. And LSU holds more. Ben Hill Griffin only holds 88,000. Thank you, sir. So LSU in a huge pickle to try to pay this guy out, but do they want all this crap, coming out with? There's politics involved here in this. They want to. They want this stuff to go to court. I wouldn't think so, man. I wouldn't think so. Zach said he'd heard that LSU's Kelly was messing around with one of the assistants' wife. Yeah, that's Bush League, man. I got none on Bryant Denny. So let's wrap it up there. I guess just kind of wrapping back through some of the show tonight. I think Pitt has a great opportunity to beat Notre Dame. A great opportunity. Texas's pass rush could cause problems for Gunner, but a good way to handle a pass rush is to run the ball, and I think Georgia can run the ball. That may be some of the difference. And I just like Bama's defense has been very stingy, taking the ball away, tying the receiving core is better than Oklahoma's Mateer and Burke and some of their receiving core. That's just what I think about it. That's just very interested in Pitt Notre Dame. Y'all go get some ribs and turn that game on and holler at me. Text me online, go over on Facebook, like the page, and subscribe to the YouTube channel and share it with everybody. God bless everybody, and we appreciate you. Love you. Y'all have a great Friday tomorrow. It's going to be a beautiful day out. God bless everybody, and come on the page and hit me with some scores and predictions Saturday. Okay. I'll be up there. Okay. All right. See y'all.